When pretentious arsehole movie critics like me decide to take digs at the shallow, clumsy, and unconvincing depictions of female characters in modern action movies, we tend to reference triumphantly awesome trailblazers like Sarah Connor, Ellen Ripley, and Princess Leia. But believe it or not, there's other movies that accomplished almost as much, but for some reason didn't get nearly as much recognition, one of which is The Long Kiss Goodnight, a 1996 action thriller starring Geena Davis and Samuel L. Jackson, about a seemingly innocent suburban housewife who rediscovers her former identity as a deadly assassin. It was a neat little movie with razor-sharp dialogue, a talented cast, good action scenes, and a cool main character that absolutely should have gotten a sequel, but for some reason, nobody seems to remember it these days. Well, I do, and I'm gonna talk about it. Geena Davis stars as Samantha Kane, a school teacher and mother living in small-town America. In most ways, her life is about as dull, safe, and predictable as it can be, apart from the fact that she doesn't remember anything beyond 8 years ago when she was found injured and comatose, and pregnant. But she's never quite given up on finding out her true identity, so she hires a local private detective named Mitch to do some digging for her. But things take a sudden turn when she's involved in a car accident, resulting in her face being shown on the local news. Not long afterward, a man shows up at her house trying to kill her, and she finds, much to her surprise, that not only is she able to defend herself, but she also fights like a fucking trained killer. Clearly the crash has unlocked something that's been hidden away for the past 8 years, and she needs to find out what it is before more people try to kill her. Naturally, Samantha wants answers, so she heads off with Mitch to try and find them. Unfortunately, the trail leads her straight to a former enemy who wants to kill her, real bad, and very nearly does. But the near-death experience finally unlocks her repressed memories, causing her former personality to reassert itself. See, it turns out that she was once a CIA operative named Charlie who was caught up in a false flag terrorist attack on US soil 8 years earlier that she was only just barely able to prevent. Now the people responsible are planning a second strike, and this time they've taken her daughter hostage too, plunging Charlie into a race against time to stop them and get her daughter back before it's too late. But will she be able to stop them a second time? The Long Kiss Goodnight is one of those great scripts written by Shane Black when he was still at the height of his powers, and it features all of the tropes you'd expect from the guy. Smart character work, witty dialogue, a dark sense of humour, inventive action sequences, a storyline that culminates around Christmas, and superpowered predators trying to unlock the secrets of autism. Forget that last one. Repressed memories, former lives coming back to haunt the protagonist, and split personalities are nothing new for the action genre, but they're all executed with such energy and enthusiasm that it doesn't really matter here. And the decision to make the main character female instead of just another generic grizzled man opens up a whole bunch of new possibilities that the script takes full advantage of. When Charlie's memory and personality finally reassert themselves, she's kind of disgusted by the humdrum, domesticated life she's been living for the past 8 years and determined to pick up where she left off. She cuts her hair, buys new clothes, and acts like a completely different person, but she also has to reconcile with the fact that she's now a mother, a piece of emotional baggage that she never bargained for. It's interesting watching her struggle with these two conflicting lives, desperate to return to one but unable to let go of the other. And it's funny really because the idea of women on screen being protective mothers and kick-ass fighters seems like such a quaint relic of a different time. But it's all helped by an awesome performance by Geena Davis, who absolutely owns both characters. For an actress best known for doing light-hearted comedies and romance movies up until that point, she makes for an unlikely action hero, and I guess that's kinda the point. She's well within her comfort zone as Samantha, a quiet and pretty mousy homemaker who's got no idea what the hell's happening to her, but it's when she transforms into Charlie that she really unleashes her inner badass. Suddenly she's cool, confident, sensual, and hyper-motivated. She can kick ass with the best of them, trade quips and one-liners like any good action hero, and handle weapons like she's been doing it her whole life. And damn, you can tell she got in shape for the role too. What's interesting is that Charlie actually gets put through the mill in this film too, taking serious injuries, getting beaten by guys much bigger than her. Shit, this guy even rocks her with a milk carton, and having to dig deep just to keep going. Why does this movie feel like a better Black Widow film than actual Black Widow?
I don't get my period, dipshit. I don't have a uterus.
Or ovaries.
Her Her chemistry with Samuel L. Jackson is a joy to watch, and the two actors play off each other perfectly. Mitch is your typical cynical detective with a heart of gold, but he's got some of the best one-liners in the entire movie, and as usual, Samuel Jackson delivers every one of them like he's been waiting his whole life to say them.
Makes a bulge, people can see.
You want me to stick it in my pants and shoot my damn dick off? And if you do cop a tooth jerk off, I will see to it you spend the next 10 years in prison getting ass fucked. Anybody fucks with Mitch, he knows just what to do.
If I had to level some criticisms at it though, I'd say it sometimes feels like it's overreaching itself, trying to stage big blowout set pieces that the budget can't quite make good on. Mid-90s action movies weren't exactly known for their amazing visual effects, and Long Kiss Goodnight definitely would have benefited from another $30 million or so. Then again, the failure of Cutthroat Island the previous year had badly hurt Geena Davis as a bankable star, so maybe the studio just wasn't willing to risk too much on her this time around. Also, in a film with such tight dialogue and well-drawn characters, the antagonist feels weirdly flat, generic and forgettable, and not really a worthy adversary for Charlie. Long Kiss Goodnight might be a diamond in the rough, hampered by a constrained budget and one or two writing shortcomings, but overall it's still a fun, engaging action movie with great performances, sharp dialogue, decent fight scenes, and a little glimpse of a new action franchise that could have been. And if you're looking for proof that Hollywood did a better job of writing female leads 30 years ago than they can manage today, well, I suggest you look it up. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.